Hey there, welcome back to Turntable Guy. On the bench today we have an Akai AP-Q50, so an AP-Q50. It's a quartz lock turntable, dropped off for unknown reasons. Well, the reason is it's probably not working correctly. This one has all sorts of issues, and it's not exactly the kind of jobs that I really like. Part of the problem of reopening up after the whole COVID break here is that you're going to get a bunch of junky tables in, and this one probably qualifies as kind of junky. It's dirty. It's not particularly pretty. It's missing one foot, and two other feet are not put in correctly. The weight here on the back is just dangling, and that may not be repairable. I might have to disassemble the arm to get at that. So it comes down to, the owners already said, look, if you can fix it. I hate these things, by the way. Okay, I hate them. They're ridiculous and unnecessary. If you can fix it, then great. And if not, if it's cost too much money, then just junk it. Well, that's another problem. I'm not a recycling facility. If someone decides to leave a turntable here, I have to physically put it in my car or store it at my house for a little while, and then drive it down there, which is a few miles out of the city, and drop it off. So that's kind of irritating, to be honest with you. But anyway, enough with the bullshit. Let's get on with having a look at this Q50 here and see what it does. Before I start, I just want to say sorry about the video quality on the last video I made on the arm repair on the 1600. My camera was on the wrong focus mode, and unfortunately it's a little blurry, but I'm hoping that you can pretty much make out what I did there as far as servicing that. So anyway, so we're going to plug this AP-Q50 in and see what happens. It's not a bad table, by the way. It's they're actually pretty nice. I have a AP-D40, which is D30, 33. I think 33. Looks exactly like this, except it's got strobe marks here. This one has quartz lock and pitch control, which is nice. Mine is a servo motor. It's not quartz lock, but they're nice tables. They're actually nicely built. Akai made some very nice stuff. Oh, look at this! It decided to start all by itself. I love it. You know what that means? We got a bad motor switch. Oh, look, see, it turns off. You bring it back. Oh, it's still off. Oh, now it's on. I don't know if you can see that LED in there. Oh, now it's on. There it is. The quartz lock works. It's locked. Pitch control is surprisingly clean. Got quartz on 45. This actually might not be too bad of a repair. Definitely got. We have a dirty. I'll tell you right now, we have a dirty motor switch. There it goes there. Just wait. Now it's off. Oh, it's on. So anyway, so that's the issue with this one. I'd like to have it in an off state before I turn it over. Okay. There we go. Well. Okay, let's just unplug it. So I'm going to take this silly thing off. And I'm going to put the lid back on. And no, I'm not protecting this lid because it's scratched to hell. Okay, we're going to pull off the platter. Classic auto return. Here's our foot issue. So through the magic of editing, we've got our screws off. There's our feet. We'll able to adjust those when we're done here. And here is our guts. And here is our switch. So my guess is this switch is dirty. So let's clean that switch. There's a spring here holding it in. I just want to make sure that I can remove it without causing any issues. Should be okay to remove. A couple wires there. Okay, we're going to gently remove our switch. Okay, my guess is this is the cause of our problems, and what we're going to do is we're going to flood the interior of the switch with some contact cleaner. I am running out of Neutral, but luckily I have another can. You go through this stuff like crazy. Oh, still got lots. So we're going to flood. Keep pouring it in there. Good. And we're going to massage this a little bit here. Distribute the cleaner. And we're going to put her back. That's how easy it is to clean a switch. And micro switches do get dirty. They are nice and sealed. But, you know, after 30, 40 years, whatever it is, tighten that up. Just going to move the arm a little bit just to see how that, it definitely turns it on and turns it off nicely, so we're good there. We should be able to see immediately how that works. So why don't we just turn it over? I think it can sit on its base without any issues here. And we'll just plug it in and see if that helped. Platter back on. Okay. Let's see here. Nope. Or is it auto-returning? I think it just auto-returned. Going to cycle it once here. Okay. Always cycle your auto return. Okay, it has shut off. There we go. Turn on. Turn off. Turn on. Turn off. That's actually pretty good. Looks like we had a dirty switch. There are some pots in here. I'm going to give these all a shot as well. That means putting this back on its back. Oops. The hinges are bent on this as well. This table's in really rough physical condition. So we're just going to hit these pots here. And these switches, excellent. We're just going to work those back and forth a little bit. Distribute our contact cleaner. Not that you probably use the pitch control when you have a quartz lock. I mean, highly unlikely, but it's always good to get this stuff clean. Hey, there's somebody living in here. Check this out. Mr. Spider. I don't see how much food you'd be getting in here, Mr. Spider. And this was... Oh, wow, that pitch control just loosened up. There we go. That's so funny. It was so gummed up, and then just working it back and forth. Nice and loose now. Hit our switches here. 45 and 33. And what else? 45, 33, and quartz lock switch. That's very important to have those cleaned. Excellent. This return switch here is electronic, and it can actually use a little bit of cleaner as well. It's just got a couple contacts there. It's almost like a relay contact. We'll just clean it up a little bit. Put some contact cleaner on there. It's not a big deal. Alright, so that's that. Now, motor-wise, these are serviceable on an Akai. You have to remove your ground. Boy, that's a long screw. Remind me to put that ground back on. Where did Mr. Spider go? That's rather disquieting. Oh, there he is. We'll lift up and out. Okay, and it's similar to that Sony I restored. It's going to be magnetically stuck down, so just give it a tug. Check for a ball bearing. There is a ball bearing in here, so we're just going to do the usual cleaning. Oh, let's see here. Does this sit? Okay, this is an inverse bearing. Okay, so this is the first time we've done this on this channel. So an inverse bearing means it will sit like this upright. Okay, so that means putting a lightweight oil in here will not work, because eventually it will work its way out. Although Akai does have an oil here. We're going to clean that anyway. Yeah, it's dirty. Okay, a little bit of alcohol and a Q-tip. You guys know the drill. Yeah, so usually what you'll see is the main spindle will go into the bearing well. But this one, the bearing well is on the spindle, and the spindle's on the motor. So we're going to use a thicker oil. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to get an oil that doesn't move around as much, and that is synthetic 80W90 gear oil. We're going to put a schlob right on the top, because this is where the most friction is. Okay, and then I will drop a couple drops down the well itself, like that. And just a little bit here, like that. And then we'll put her back in. very smooth, feels nice. And then, as you can see, it's very okay when you're working with a gear oil like the AW90, which is this is what's used in Rega turntables. Okay, it's not like the other oils that I use. This stuff is extremely viscous and thick, so you'll see that this does not want to go down, right? So we're just gonna, you have to be patient, and it will work its way down. You can help it a little bit, like compressing it and just rocking it back and forth. But as you can see, there's a ton of hydraulic pressure. It needs to push the air out, right? So maybe we'll turn it upside down here, force the air up and out. There we go. All right, down. And there you go. That's how you service an inverse bearing. You need a thick oil. Okay, very good. Motor back on. Now, I don't know if I'll get an AP-D series in here or not, but they actually have capacitor issues. These Sanyo capacitors, which are 1.5 microfarad at 25 volts, these are problemsome. The other ones are okay, and there's a couple other ones that control the speed on the D40 and the D33, and they are troublesome. So did I say troublesome before? Yeah, okay, troublesome. And those a lot of times they need a capacitor change. They control the speed. But this is a quartz lock turntable, so we are not touching anything. And it was working. Okay, our ground is back. I know that on my D33, speed was not holding at all, and I did the usual cleaning and it did not do anything. I went online to see what other issues were, and actually there's a couple of resistors that might need to be changed as well to different values. You can look that up on Audio Karma. There's a lot of articles on that if you have a D33 and you're having speed issues. I think I might have chimed in myself on that thread on how I got mine working. Very good. All right, so our motor has been serviced. All our pots have been serviced. We have serviced our main on-off switch, micro switch there. I believe that's it. Let's look into these feet here. I had 3 when I started. Anyway, I'll show you what you got to do to repair these. It's a press fit, so you just put them through the bottom here. And then there's this very long nub, and all you do is just grab it and pull it through, and it should sit straight now, just like that. Okay. So same with this one. It's all crooked here, right? So you can either, this one's a really mess. That's how it sits. There's a few indentations where the platter has to sit, or the bottom has to sit. So just pull it through with that long part, just like that. Okay, and that's how you get them through. Now, if I ever find that third foot, which is probably rolled away somewhere, I'll show you how to put that one in. But in the meantime, we're just going to get this thing back on its feet. I'm trying to figure out, where's the motor? I had it right the first time. I just want to tuck that in. I'll put the screws in. I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. I was just looking through my crap, and I have feet. Now, these ones will not work. They're too big and thick. But these might. Look at that. That looks almost the same. Don't need these. And a screw. You end up keeping a lot of parts. People just don't want them. Oh, more feet. These would require some kind of bolt and nut. This is what remains of a Pioneer PL-560. Why don't we go with these and see if we can make that work with a screw. Shut up, phone. So we'll need two. Because I haven't got a clue where that other one rolled to. I'm sure it'll show up tomorrow. Alright, so let's get this one out. Because I'm going to balance them and put two of the same on one end of the table. If I can get this out, of course. There we go. So we're going to put this foot here. Like that. And then these two, we'll get a screw of some sort. I think just a standard machine screw will work. It's okay if it pokes out a little bit at the bottom. Everything is shorter. Ooh, I like these. That might work. Let's see what works better. So we're going to put this one in here, like that. And then force it through the hole, and then we'll put a screw in through the bottom, like this. And it should thread into the rubber. This one might not work because it's a little fat. Let's see if I can get this threaded. Yeah, that actually stayed. Look at that. There we go. Sitting pretty. So another kind of fat screw here. Don't you love watching me dig for screws? That looks like a hard drive screw, but it'll work. So pop your foot in like that. Oops, wrong side. Like that. Flip her over, and just get the thread started on the rubber. That's part of the fun of working on these vintage turntables. Just trying to get, a deadbeat turntable like this actually back up and running. This is your shield, by the way. And look at this. We now have a turntable with 4 feet. Yeah, these are sticking out a little bit more. There's so much weight on them, they're going to compress. Aha! I'd say that's a win. Because now we've got, yeah, it might not be perfect. I mean, at the very least, you might have to put, a coaster on this side, but at least now it'll be suspended, right? So, we're just trying to make people happy here. These guys aren't worried about, having the greatest sounding turntable. This is not a Lynn Sondeck. It's not a Technics 1200. It's just, really a piece of junk that came in for repair, and it's old, and he probably found it in a garage. Hence the spider. So it's better than it was. Hey, welcome back, guys. Okay, so feet are on. So we have 4 feet now, and we're just going to check to make sure things are working. And that was a little loose. And then we're going to send this one down the road. So our next test is a test for sound. Just plug it in. Do a general function test here as well. And for you who don't know how to align a cartridge on an Akai, hey, that's working great. What you need to do, okay, so Akai has an interesting way of doing it. What do we got here? Shure M110, I believe. So the distance that your cartridge needs to be in the head shell, you're going to bring the arm over. Okay, this is going to auto return now. You have to do this when the table's unplugged. Back you go. Your distance is marked on the platter, providing you have the OEM Akai platter. Okay, the distance, you need to bring your arm over and line up your stylus with the middle groove on the platter. Okay, so this one right here, there's 3 grooves here, 1, 2, and 3. So line it up with number 2. Let's see how close this is. And it is not even close. It's on the furthest one. So why don't we do this for the gentleman? That way he has proper alignment. It's going to be way back. Akais are usually way back, and the cartridges sit way back in the cartridge head shell. Still way too long. It looks funny, and I know I've done it for people on Akais, and they're like, "Why does the cartridge sit so far back?" I'm like, "Well, that's where it belongs." So this one's all the way back. Let's see how that is, and that's right on, all the way back. It's dead on in that center groove right there. So you bring your cartridge right to the dead center here, and then have a look. And that's where the alignment is. Sometimes it's problematic because your cables or your wires here can actually touch each other, and that's not good. So you got to make sure that you're not touching just by bending them down perhaps. But that is actually the correct alignment for this table. All right. Let's see if we have any hum first of all. No hum. Make sure we have sound. We know we have quartz. Actually, let's set our speed before we do the quartz. Are you on? No, I didn't plug you on. I plug you in, of course. Okay, our arm does not go up high enough. Quartz, 33 quartz. Sounds really good. Okay, so we definitely have an issue with our arm here. I believe the adjustment is right here with the screw. There is a Phillips screw here. And what you want to do is put it in the up position. You might have to move your arm out, protect your cartridge. You know what? Let's remove the cartridge. And you're just going to want to counterclockwise here. That's a little better. There we go. Let's see how that is. There. Now when we drop, now we're up and down properly. This arm needs a silicone grease replenishment. I'm not doing it. I'm just going to tell the gentleman to do it slowly. It's way too much work, and it's not going to be worth the cost of the repair of the turntable. Alright, so that's fixed now. Whole slew of things to do on this one. Finally, we are going to look at this mess. Now, he said he was back here. And yes, there is a screw in here. Oh, this has been butchered. That's unfortunate. I don't even think it's going to come out. Ah, this has all been chewed to pieces. That's so unfortunate. Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Oh dear. What do we do? What do we do? It's the only way that this actually mounts on there is through this rubber piece. But look at this. There's really no way to fix this. I can't just put this back on. I suppose I could. You know, I understand there's rubber here. I might be able to take this bolt out and just epoxy this to the back of the tone arm, is what I'm thinking. There's been a piece of plastic broken off here as well that goes in here. So, yeah, the only thing I can do here is to epoxy this in position, clamp it down, and hope it holds. See, the problem is that you're hanging a pretty significant piece of metal off a piece of this is heavy, right? And this is a piece of plastic, and this is a piece of rubber. So you're hanging this massive piece of metal off of these two flimsy things, and they're going to sag. This is a very common issue with these turntables. So I guess, you know, I'm going to leave this one here because, you know, I'm not going to bore you to death with me gluing a piece of plastic on here, and I cannot reuse this. This is now garbage. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get some strong epoxy, clean this with alcohol, sand it down a little bit to get a rough surface, and then make sure this is pointing upwards and put it in this position. And then I'll clamp it down, and hopefully it will cure properly, and we can get this back on there. But that's it. I mean, I can't go any further. So we've repaired the start-stop switch. We've lubricated the motor. We've cleaned all the controls. We've adjusted and repaired. Well, we've adjusted the arm lifter, so we've actually have some cueing control now. And now we have to repair this, but I'm going to do that off screen. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in again. Hopefully this one was in focus. And we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.